Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's happening, man?
Peace, peace, peace.
We're gonna see what's happening with it. We're gonna see what's happening with it. Got a few minutes to get in here today, man. We won't have a whole heck of a lot of time. 40
Hey,
Shades.
sis.
I'm feeling backward.
Peace, peace, peace. Devin
How
Stevens.
we sounding,
What's
40 Shades?
good?
Let me know. We sounding good, sounding bad. What's the dilly? How we looking? Looking good, looking bad. What's the dilly? How we sounding? How we looking? Mm-hmm. We out here, man. Oklahoma
She
right
said it
now.
sounds good.
Hey, that's what I like to hear. We out here in Oklahoma with it right now, man. I guess just before because you came up with the idea, what you wanted, just something that you wanted to build on, something that was in your spirit. But
He's so funny, y'all.
yeah, we've been out here running, man. Y'all know how we do. If y'all keep up with us on any of our social media stuff, y'all know
Yeah.
we don't really stop with it for real. We keep it pushing pretty
Hmm.
constantly. So let me see. Since last weekend, spent another weekend in South Carolina. That we shot down on Monday.
Yes.
No, we posted up
Was
in
it Monday?
hotel again Monday. We left early a.m. on Tuesday morning. Shot down to Florida. Picked up in Florida Tuesday afternoon. Delivered in Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
on Wednesday. From Wednesday, we delivered in Arkansas and picked up in the same place, East Camden. On Wednesday, grabbed that load, shot that up to out to St. Charles, like a Boeing, the airline Boeing spot. We delivered there on yesterday morning, which was
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. That's right outside of St. Louis, like St. Charles, I think it is. Then we
Peace,
shot
peace,
shot
peace.
across I-70. Picked up last night or yesterday evening in Independence, Missouri, outside of Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So we picked up there, left there about 12:30, about 1 o'clock before we actually probably pulled out of that spot, maybe a little later. And then we shot down here to Oklahoma. We were here last night about 9.
Mm-hmm.
So we made our delivery at the military spot out here in Oklahoma and shut down overnight. So we're picking up this afternoon at 4:30. So we won't have a lot of time, but we got a little small
A little
window.
small window.
So we pick up this afternoon from there, heading to Pennsylvania, and then we should be in upstate New York, shut down in the hotel, watching football on Sunday is my plan. Picking up from upstate New York on Monday, and we'll be right back down here in Oklahoma probably by Tuesday night. So that's our rundown. That's. I just want to fill y'all in on how the games be going.
Peace, peace, peace. Salvador Galvin says, "Hey, y'all, first time live watcher, but love viewing your videos. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it,
Thanks for coming
Salvador.
in. Thanks for subscribing. We appreciate you.
Right.
Miss Dana, how are you?" Devin Stevens said, "Run hard and spend months off." That's right.
You already know what it's gonna be, bro. We running until probably first week in December. Um, our daughter graduates her graduation ceremony with her master's degree is I
Whoop
think the
whoop.
10th of December. So we'll probably be home a few days before that, and we'll be done for the year. Probably come back out maybe
Yeah, she got
mid
her
late January.
BSW in social work, and now she's getting ready to get her MSW in clinical social work.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're
So we
excited
making
about
things
that.
happen, man. We out here, um, kind of quiet, but we making plenty noise. If you can
Yes,
understand
40
what
Shades,
we
take
saying, what
getting
we
it
doing
in.
out here, man. So to all the teams that's out here running, keep pushing. Keep grinding, man. We in it together. All we got is us. So
That's all
don't
we
don't
got.
don't don't get too involved and get your mind too caught up in anything else, man. Keep pushing. Keep doing what y'all got to do to get what you got to get accomplished. Because there's plenty of people counting on you, as y'all know.
Yes. So yesterday for Throwback Thursday on Instagram, I posted a video of my first time getting on a truck.
Yes, you did.
And It was so dope. I love when they send us all these memories and things like that because it just reminds us of how far we came. Go Phoenix, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
My guy. What it up?
Thank
What it
you, Miss
is? What's
Damon.
happening? What's popping? In the flesh. Rise from the ashes, my brother.
So yeah, I posted a video and a lot of people were saying power moves because those of you that know or some of you may not know that I was actually doing hair, had my own salon before that, and I closed it down in order to become a trucker with my husband. And it's always been a question, it's always been something people have kind of questioned, especially those who knew my passion and know what I love to do. It's like, okay, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And just having some conversations with some of the people in comments and in my DM, just saying like it was a power move, power move. I just felt like I wanted to come over here and just have that conversation a little bit deeper and explain exactly that about it actually really being a power move. So this particular video, we named it The Power in Redirection, right? The
Yes.
Power in Redirection. So at the time before we decided that we was going to become truckers, a lot of things were on in our life. And Mo had his thoughts and his life because even though we're a married couple, we also still had two separate individual jobs and careers and goals for ourselves individually, but we also are family, husband and wife, so we had to think about what's best for the overall unit of one being together, right? And so when I was at the salon, that season in my life had pretty much came to a place where you could see in my life, you could see all around me. There were signs, there were things going on letting me know that that season was coming to an end. Now, did it end totally forever? I don't know. I'm still living. I'm still here. Life still goes on. But in that moment of time for us, it was definitely time to change paths. And what I had been out there like maybe 6 years, 4 years on the salon. I had been doing my dream, pursuing my dream and all of that. And basically, we got to a fork in the road. We had to make a decision what was best for our family.
Mm-hmm.
You could pick up from there from like what made you decide that it was time for us to redirect, like to change our path, because this was not the original path for us.
Yeah, well, we've had this conversation before, but for me, it just was getting to the bread, man. I didn't want to be the old dude on the forklift, and that's all I had to offer. I didn't have no education. And the bottom line is we playing the long game, not the short game. So I know what type of lifestyle I want to live. I know the type of things I want to be able to do. And working mediocre jobs wasn't going to get it. I knew, trucking was an option. We've always known trucking was an option. I was going to get into trucking in 2011. I just knew that the children was too young at the time and to leave and go through the process of getting a license, schooling, just all the handful of months it's going to take to even get the ball rolling for real, for real. I didn't want to leave you stuck carrying that weight of everybody, just the family in general, and just being you happen to be the rock for all that, and I just kind of separated myself to go do this trucking thing. So that was really that. But to me, it was just all about trying to get to the bread and trying to figure out another path for me to get to what I felt like I deserved in the type of life I deserve to live. Like, a lot of people that have been coming up in this in I should say the urban cities or just the urban uh, type of upbringings, that dibbled and dabbled in all types of things, legal and illegal. You feel like you get to a point where you feel like that's why you take those risks, take those chances, because you feel like you want a certain way of life, you want to be able to buy and purchase and do certain things. And at my age, I won't go back to school. I know I'm not gonna go back to nobody's college, none of that, because I ain't gonna never getting paid off what you know will never get you rich in that sense. Like I don't really know how else to put that, but trying to get super educated to work a job, I already know that ain't gonna put me where I want to be at. I need to be in something where I can use my tenacity and my overall hustle to consistently create income for myself, and trucking can give you the opportunity to do that. It's nobody over you really making you get out here and go get it. You can be lazy if you want. You can screw up. You can have all the excuses in the book and just be. You can waste. You can be wasteful if that's what you want to do, or you can go get it if that's what you want to do. So
And see, I've always had like we've always kind of differed just a little bit with that. We've always had the hustle in common, but I am the person that believes that you can actually make money off what you know and your gifts and things like that, because I was doing it. I was able to do it. But I think that what I wanted to do this video for is, I think there's a lot of people that can look at their life and say, can see that there's no consistent fruit. Like you were saying, you was going after the bag. Okay.
right,
We both
facts.
were. So it's like, well, I was in a place where I had like a fulfillment because I was doing something I love to do, but it wasn't getting me the bag like I wanted it or needed it at that
And that's what I'm
time.
saying. Me as being the
Right.
man or the head of a household, I don't care about fulfillment. No, all fulfillment and all that, that's luxury. But when it comes to feeding your family and producing fruit,
Right.
there's no luxury within that. You got to get it. You got to get down in the dirt and plant. There's no, ain't nothing just gonna fall out of the sky. So
Well, I
for
don't
you,
think
for you to
that
be able to have that mentality as my wife, you could have that mentality because you was my wife.
true.
Being the head of a household, whether I like my job, whether I enjoy it, that's irrelevant. The bottom line is we getting paid from it, and can we prosper from it? I
Right.
don't care about if I like it or not. I deal with whatever.
Right.
So that's just the
And I mean,
difference.
I will say that that is the difference, but we was the decision. See, it's so many different facets to our relationship that I love about us,
Right.
because I was actually hustling and working a job that had great benefits. I was making good money. I wasn't making the money I'm making now, but I was still doing good in my life. And I had this side thing that I knew how to do. I knew how to do hair. I was good at it. I was excellent at it. I had already built up a clientele. So he was the initiator of me stepping out to do that and pursue what I love to do and what I enjoy doing. So it was, so that part was already established. My thing is, when we got to the point that our income had hit a ceiling, because I think that that's what happened. Our income had got to the point that it hit a ceiling that we weren't able to see the fruits of our labor like we wanted to. And we knew that we were living beneath our potential and what was out there. You knew that. And what was needed, like what do we need to do, like what do you think it was that we needed to do to say, okay, this is our redirection, like we just need to change this all together? Because I mean, people go through things. We've
Mm-hmm.
already shared that, we went through a foreclosure, bankruptcy, repossession, not having no money. I mean, we was down to sometimes $20 a week, y'all, trying to make it work. So we know what it's like to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah.
And but there are people who are broke that still keep going down that same direction and still haven't changed their path yet. Like, they still have not said, you know what, let me sit down. This is something I need to do, something different, because right now my paper is not looking like it need to look, whatever that may be.
Right. Right. A lot of people utilize or let fear keep them from making the necessary changes. You see what the young people saying these days, or you see the red flags. Like everybody knows um, what type of things put become on display for them, so that they should be looking at doing something different. But a lot of people, maybe you feel like you're gonna be you're a quitter, or you want to see some all the way
Yeah.
through. So I would never tell somebody to just give up on whatever it is they're striving to do something else, because that ain't gonna work. But there has to be a time, or you have to give yourself a time period of some form of fashion, just to keep it all, just to make it all make sense. Like, if such and such don't happen by
It
this
gotta make
time,
sense.
I gotta do something else.
Right.
A lot of people get stuck in doing the same thing routinely, literally spinning wheels. You're doing a lot of motion, you're doing a lot of moving, you're wasting a lot of energy, and you're going nowhere.
Right.
And some people want to sit there and make excuses for it. I'm just looking at, when we decided to get in the truck, and I was 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now I turned
I was
47
39.
next month in November.
Mm-hmm.
We too old to be out here
Right.
still hollering about excuses, or we just in a
Right.
bad spot, or
Right.
things ain't happening for us. Like, we all been alive long enough to know and understand what this life requires for successful activity
Mm-hmm.
or mediocre. I mean, you know what you need to do in some form or fashion to get ahead. If you're not willing
Facts.
to stop the BS and do what you got to do to get yourself in position, you just a fool, and an old one at that. We too old to be out here with any excuses of any sort of why we're not what we're supposed to be. Like, we
Right.
grown it and grown.
Right. Let's say quick hello to Ray Davis said that he can't stay. Quick hello.
Ray, what
Thanks for
up?
sliding through. And we got King D Raj in here.
Hey, the
Um
mastermind. What's up, D Raj? I need to get at your brother.
joining the conversation. And Salvador says happy early birthday to you.
Thank you, bro.
Gold Phoenix says it's not what you know as much as how you apply it. The quality
Facts.
makes y'all a great team from what I've observed.
And people don't apply, bro. It's one, you can have all the knowledge you want. Libraries are full with it. But until you're going to make that potential energy kinetic, until you take what you know and apply it and bear
Thanks,
fruit
Ray.
from it, you just talking, bro. And that's the problem I see, whether it's YouTube or just society at large. It's too much talking, bro. Too much people got too much to say and ain't doing nothing, dog.
Right, right.
And that's what I get tired of seeing. I'm not gonna bring my frustrations into this. I'm just gonna keep it on a even kill.
Right,
But it's just too much talking, bro. Like, get to the bread. If you get into the bread, you ain't got so much time to run your mouth.
right.
Because if you was about your paper, they would have paid you. And a lot of people ain't about their bread, bro. They just
Nah.
out here doing whatever, and then hollering about how stuff ain't gonna work out for them or not working out for them. Ain't nobody trying to hear none of that, man. We
Right.
too old, bro. Too old.
And you know what? At some point, maybe even earlier on in our life, you can see some things, but then you just get to these points, these places in your life where it's like, okay, my eyes are open. Like, I really see it. When he said that he wanted to go become a trucker, it shifted everything for me. It was like, at that moment, even though I know that this was what he was doing for his career, and as his wife, I'm a benefit anyway. It was just something innate inside of me that said, okay, maybe I need to rethink myself because I don't move like that. I don't know about how other wives do what they do, but for me, when my husband makes a bold statement or a bold change like that in the midst of what we were dealing with at the time, then it called for me to relook at my situation. You know what I'm saying? Now, initially, he had no idea or didn't even think that I would be coming along with him being a trucker. I think that came along as, I ain't gonna say a surprise, but it wasn't the initial
Well,
plan.
I didn't assume you'd be driving, but I knew you'd be out here.
Right. And I remember, yo, I was gonna be out
Well,
here.
that's all.
My
That's all I'm
man ain't
saying.
need what you mean?
That's all I'm saying.
So, but as a trucking wife, a team trucking wife out here, and this is a conversation that we're gonna keep building on and talking about. It's a lot of weight on the shoulders of a woman, a wife, a mother, when she decides to take this seat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I decided to say, okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna rethink everything that I got going on to come over here, because at the end of the day, it ain't as we.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? And the levels of pushback, I had to I had to had to reject that. I had to reject it because the redirection was more important. It was more important. When I looked at our finances and I looked at where we had got to in our life, it called for redirection. It called for something drastic. It called for change,
Right.
because something drastic had happened to us and we was working hard. And I ain't talking about the work that we do out here on this truck. I'm talking about hard work. There's days he seen me be in the shop. It was closed. We going into another day. I'm still doing hair, working every single day, no days off. He's doing the same thing. Matter of fact, this man had 3 jobs before he decided to become a trucker. And we still could not get the money to do what it needed to do. Something got to change.
Well, because our whole objective is we put ourselves behind the A-ball from the beginning. We're a blended family.
Mm-hmm.
She and I came together with 5 children, all between the ages of 4 and 15. So we were already behind. And she and I ain't got a diploma between both of us. We're both GED holders. We don't have no education and none of that kind of stuff. So working hard is all we could do outside of doing little hustles and trying to, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm from where I'm from, and I can resort to what I know, but that's not the life I want to live. That's not the gamble and chances I want to take, because one false move and it's all destroyed. And I knew that. And like I said, I'm still playing them games at 40 years old. So we were already behind when it comes to really provide and take care of stuff. If it was just me and you, then what we brought in, we would have been fine.
Right.
But we got people that have aspirations for college, that have aspirations just to do great things out here in the world, period. So we got a job to do, and we don't have time to be playing around and waiting around. People got babies out here right now and still out here playing around like it's a game. So if you don't know when to recognize how to redirect, like a lot of people that's out here right now, bro or sis, if you didn't do what you was going to do over the summer, it's over with, bro. If you didn't travel, if you didn't go here, go there, get to do this or do that during the summer months, it's over. Don't take all of that foolishness into the wintertime.
Right.
You ain't prepare yourself for that. Stop trying to hit the clubs and hitting Halloween parties and all this. You ain't in position to do none of that. We deep into the fourth quarter of the year. So if you didn't put yourself in position to do certain things during certain times, that season is over. Mm-hmm. We're in the winter now. Mm-hmm. So if you want to go out and play the part, like you could be in the club and show up. Club promoters, party promoters, they want you in the building. They want the attendance. They want the people in the building. But if you in there and you can't buy no drink, if you in there, you ain't tipping the bartender, and you don't even look the part. You want to get in for free. You trying to get in free before 10. Like, if you're not in these places balling out to a degree or spending money or just being a real participant in whatever the activity is, you out of place, bro. This ain't the summertime where you can get away with t-shirt, shorts, and a pair of J's or some Yeezy slides. This is the wintertime. People put on clothes, multiple layers, jackets, certain hats, pants, boots. This stuff costs bread. So you can't be in there looking like you aren't supposed to be in there, but you still just want to be a part of what everybody doing. Cut it out, man.
Right.
This is the winter time. If you're not prepared to flourish in this time of year, this is when stuff dies. So if you don't already have stuff in place when the wintertime hit, it's made for you to die out here. Ain't no flourishing going on in the wintertime unless you put yourself in position to do so. So let the year kill it, bro.
That's what we talking about, putting ourselves in position to flourish.
Yeah, so if you can't identify that this is the wintertime, it's time to redirect that energy from the BS that the summertime brings. This ain't no what they call it. What's the skirts that women wear and all that the guys love? The
maxi dresses,
summer skirt.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like the season for all of that is a wrap, bro. It's
the
gone.
Booty jingle dresses.
We're back to the wintertime where it's grind mode. What is it called? Stack timber, stacktober, stack Vember, stack December.
Yeah,
like the games is done. We're in the time of the year right now where out here playing around, if you're not prepared, you will starve out here because ain't nothing being grown, ain't nothing being made. This time right here, if you see people out here balling in the winter, because they put themselves in position to do so.
Right.
You're gonna die out here if you didn't know how to redirect your money, time, and energy to do something different in the fourth quarter of the year. The fourth quarter ain't for play. Only big bosses and big dogs can get out here in the wintertime and get it in. Other than that, you just gonna try to hold on and make your way through. But you ain't out here walking around with your chest poked out. Not in the wintertime. So learning how to redirect can apply to all types of facets of your life.
Well, I think
Sorry.
um no, you're fine. I think understanding that if you walking in a level of fear and you're struggling to push past it, then you'll never take a risk because this comes with a lot of uncertainty.
And you're not talking risk as in just doing something, just you're not talking gambling.
Yeah, no, you're not gambling. I mean, do your research for sure.
Okay.
That's not what I'm
So you're
talking
talking
about. But when I'm saying
educated
risk,
risks.
well, I'm just saying like
We
we've
ain't
been
talk
in the game for 6 years now.
facts.
So, we at the peak or at a peak, I'll say a peak of our financial potential. But when we first came out here, it won't like that. And we had to see it through. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like we was balling or we had all this money we was making from trucking.
We just had minimal expenses.
Right. But we
And
still
that was
had
a
to see it
calculated
through
move.
because we had never been this way before.
True.
So that's what I mean by the redirection. Like this was all new territory, new ground that we were covering. And we had to trust in the move that we were making, even when we didn't know how the move was going to pan out. We saw people, we had mentors that didn't know they was mentors to us. We had people that we could see out here living this life, but would it work for us? That
Right.
was the question. um I see some conversations going on in here. I see you, Miss Janet Jackson.
I don't have my glasses on,
Congratulations
so I'm
for just
sorry, y'all.
getting
I
your
can't see the
registering for
screens.
your CDL. And I see you and Miss Dana been talking. um and I see y'all going forth with that.
The dialogue
Salvador
is good.
said, "Feel the fear and do it anyway."
Facts.
Um, and Goldfinger said, "Winter is a time to survive. The entire year is preparing to survive." Yes.
Yes, sir.
So at some point, you got to be able to look at your life and say, "This ain't working."
Hmm.
That's it. Like that's it. You ain't thinking about getting your CDL. You ain't thinking about becoming a trucker because it's like, oh, I just want to be a trucker. Some people are, but for a lot of us that come out here as a team at the age that we're at, a lot of us have had some bumps in the road. We done screwed up, made some poor choices. A lot of us. I ain't saying everybody. This is our story, but we just got to that point that it was like, I can't do another 10 years like this. I can't do another
Hmm.
year. I can't do another day like this. That
Facts.
type of severity of this is necessity. Like we gonna have to change this path. And there's power in that. There is power in that. Like being able to come to a decision where you can look at your life and say, this ain't working. I ain't got no fruit from it. I don't even care if it's good, if I'm good at it. That's where I really wanted to get to. Because for me, I didn't walk away from something that I wasn't good at that didn't yield fruit.
Hmm.
I walked away from something that was financially not what I needed to be in the moment and time in my life. And understanding that being an entrepreneur and having that skill and it being my business, the business is me.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? I can create another business. I can start another salon. I can do hair again if I want to. Or I can train people to do hair. I can create a school. I can do all of these things because the gifting and the skill and the experience is inside of me.
Facts.
But if I had held on to that in that moment in time, I could have missed out on this redirection and this power move that we was able to make with becoming truckers, becoming
Right.
team truckers.
Right. No, that's a fact. That's
You
an
know,
absolute fact.
and I think that there's a level of emotions that come along with doing this for a woman. I can't speak for everybody, but I can definitely speak for me and the few that I do know that's out here teaming. That there is a big girl panties that you got to put on when you come out here and decide to team with your husband, because you're going to get the rejection, you're going to get the talks, you're going to get the
Mm.
whispers, you're going to get people judging you and saying certain things because of the decision that you made.
What are some of those whispers? What are some of those talks? What's some of the stuff that that a woman will get when she makes a decision. Because a lot of times coming out here on the road, especially as a husband and wife or just any couple in general, we know that someone must be a leader, things of those nature. Somebody has to follow, someone has to lead. That's just kind of like the order. What are some of the things that the follower will hear from people who know them, don't know them, love them, don't really love them, just want to say something like, what are some of the things
Well, I mean,
that you heard?
I heard people say, just because he becoming a trucker don't mean you have to. What his career got to do with yours?
Hmm.
I've heard people say things like a woman ain't meant to, that's not her place to be in a truck like that. That it'll never work trying to live on a truck with your husband and work together. Y'all can't be together 24/7 and still have a great marriage. But we are debunking that stereotype because we do good. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say everything's perfect because it ain't. You know
Everything
what
ain't
I'm
perfect out
saying?
there either.
But we know how to make this work as a team,
Facts.
and we've been doing it. But there was the separation as being a mother, like separating from my family. Oh, let me shout out to my girl Saloa. I saw her in here. Hey boo, I meant to speak.
Hey, boo.
Hey girl. That's another team trucker out here, and 40 Shades teaming out here with her husband.
Big
But
facts.
overall, like, it's just where I came from and the environment that I came from, it just wasn't done. It's still not being done. I have no friends that are truckers that are people I knew before trucking.
Right.
Um, it was frowned upon for me to walk away and give up my home. It was frowned upon for me to live in a truck. It was frowned upon. You know what I'm
I remember.
saying? Kind of looked at as not being ladylike. And almost to the point of I was making a poor decision and jeopardizing not just my marriage, jeopardizing like the structure of my family.
I remember you was asked by somebody, how
How
long
long
are
you
you
gonna
gonna do
do
this?
this? Yeah, I remember that.
How long is she gonna
And
do what? Like,
I never responded. No, I did respond to that question. I think I said something like, um, I might have said something that I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something in reference to like, we're gonna do this as long as we, feel like we want to do it.
facts.
Nobody's holding a gun to our head. We're not out here in prison. Believe me, this life yields lots of benefits that hey, we do talk about them and we show them. It's a lot of benefits to being out here, and there's other
Absolute
sides to it,
facts.
pros and cons. But I just think that there has to come a time in your life period when you decide that the direction and the path that I'm taking has to change for the betterment of my family. I love doing hair, and I love everything about the natural hair industry, like the hair industry. Like, it's my thing. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It does it for me. But overall, in the moment that mattered the most, I had to make a decision that benefited my entire family and not just what I wanted to do.
That's why your thoughts have to be planned out. This stuff has to be calculated. A lot of people just out here living willy nilly. That's why I speak about just being of age and us just being adults out here, man. When you're younger and you're basically being taken care of by other people, or you have no people that's really um, that you're responsible for, that's counting on you, you can do whatever you want to do. And if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. You just can float around and do what you want to do and live how you want to live. But us as grown mothers and fathers and just adults out here, we can't be making decisions that are complete failures. Everything may not pan out the way you wanted to. You may have to make adjustments. You may have to
Right.
make redirections and kind of go back to the drawing board on certain things. But you shouldn't be putting real time and energy and money into stuff that's just complete failures and waste of time.
I
You
want to address
you
this
you
when you
you
get a chance
gotta
to.
be more calculated with the stuff that you're doing. You can't gamble and take the chances that you took back in the days. You too grown
No,
for this.
no. Um, all right, 40 Shades. Y'all know that she's a team trucker with her husband.
This be what up?
This be trucking, and she was saying that people asked her, why do you want to drive? And y'all are always with each other. Why are you following him? Another Miss Danny, I hope I'm saying that right. She says, you'll hear people say you're stupid for chasing him in his dreams. Please let me address this.
Go ahead. I ain't even gonna touch
I
it.
got to say this. You know what? I am so sick of people acting like it is something wrong for a woman to get on board with her husband's vision. I don't know too much about how other people do their marriage, but in how we do it and what I've come to terms with is that when I got married, I walked down the aisle and they said, "Who gives this woman away?" And my father, who is who has been the man of my life, my father said, "I do." And he didn't say "I do" just because it's like, okay, go ahead. No, he expected this man right here to take the lead in my life. Okay. That doesn't mean that I'm not independent. It doesn't mean that I'm not my own woman. It doesn't mean that I am a sap or, that something's wrong with me because I follow my husband. No, I am following the order of what I believe marriage and how it's supposed to work.
Hmm.
Okay. If I'm married to someone and I can't follow them, I've chosen the wrong man, or he's chosen. We don't belong together. You hear me?
Right.
We do not belong together. And truth be told, I'm very stubborn. Okay. And my husband, he leads, but I was bucking. I've always been a bucker all the time. And before I got on the truck, that has always been a thing for me. There was a certain level of I don't want to use certain words, but I'm gonna say defiancy. Just almost like that kickback
Perfect
that I
word.
will always give him. And I didn't like it. I didn't feel like I should be doing it, but I was used to it because I had been placed in a situation from a prior marriage where I had to fend for myself and my kids alone.
You were a single woman
Right.
raising four children.
Mm-hmm. At
You won't.
22.
You wasn't used to nobody telling you what or how to do, or
Nah.
even suggesting to or how to do whatever. You was in survival mode,
Yeah.
and you could only count on yourself.
Right.
So even I, being as awesome as I am, still had to come in and show and prove that I was who I was, who I said I was, and I was going to do what I said I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I expected the buck.
And let me tell you, I'm gonna say this because we keep it 100 over here on Married to the Mouse.
Yes, we do.
But it was some things that my husband enjoyed his recreational time. Okay, that he decided he was done with for trucking. Okay, I don't know about other wives, but I know when my man is serious about something. And I know what my man like and don't like. And when he decided that that was out of the way and that this was he didn't come to me saying, let's have a conversation because I'm thinking this is what I want us to do, or I might do this. No, he said, this is what we gonna do. Actually, he said, this is what I'm going to do, and you'll benefit from it. And I kind of got I kind of got a little turned on by that because it was like, okay, leave me, boo, leave me. He came in and said, this is what we're going to do. And I was excited about it because I had never seen that type of, it, I've seen driving him, but this was different. This was like him just stepping in a way that I had never seen him step up before. And it made me question myself. And it almost like it the moments as a wife when your husband do certain things, you be like, okay, daddy. Okay, daddy. It was one of those moments. It was one of those moments. And I knew at that moment that I needed to step in and follow my husband. And I tell you, this is my story. But I believe wholeheartedly that when a woman comes along and if she is a true helpmate to her husband, the only way to go is up. The only way to go is up because marriage is about being one. Two people coming together being one. Yes, we're individuals. Yes, we have separate ideals, ideas, wants and needs and things like that. But when you're married, that's why they call it marriage. That's why they call it being married, intertwined together. There's no separation. That's why you wear the circle around your finger, because that circle, that bond cannot be broken unless you break it or one decides that they don't want that.
Facts.
But anywho, I have to address this. My girl Saloa, she says, uh, where you at, boo? She said people saying that she was following him, her kids need her, was the hardest for her. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. And ironically, let me tell you something. I don't even have a child that's under the age of 20. And I still get that. I still get that. Um, it is what it is.
I just don't
You
understand.
still got to make a decision. Look, as a wife, you have to make a decision for what's best for your family. How many times have, as women, I'm speaking for the women, as women, have we had to make a decision with our children that they don't understand? It's for their good, but for them, it feels like it's not. And you got to do what you got to do. Let them pout, let them be upset. They might not talk to you, they might not deal with you. It is what it is, because we went through that. But in that same token, them same kids that come back around that need you, what I'm gonna say if I would have still been making the money I was making, and my daughter had to go to college, I got one that's moving out, I got another one that have car issues, I got another one need help with their insurance, all kinds of things going on, health issues, need the teeth fixed, all kinds of stuff. What I'm gonna say then? Oh, I'm doing what I love to do. I don't really make that much money. He don't make that much money, so this all I got for you. Go ahead, get that loan. Or go ahead over there and see if you can get that title loan.
Mm-hmm.
Or go over there and ask so and so for some money.
I just don't understand how
I
women.
get what you having to do, what you have to
Right.
do, but that's something that we was like, we was like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna be the source. Like, we're in a space that we're gonna be the lender and not the borrower.
That's why I say I don't understand how if women can just do what they want to do without the aid or help or even the companionship of being in a relationship, then what you doing it for? Like, how can women question each other on how you gonna let him lead and blah blah blah? Like, what's his duty? What's his place? What is he supposed to? What's his actual job from day to day? Because we're built to do what we're built to do. Like, it's already pre-written. It's not really now you got some people cannot perform or underperform, but as a man out here, your objective, bro, is to lead.
That's
So
right.
if you're not leading and she don't feel comfortable in your leadership, then by all means, she's gonna still deviate and do what she need to do.
Mhm.
But if you're the type of man that can put a play together and it works out, or just period, that know how to put a play together.
Right.
Like, a lot of people out here just making idiotic and stupid moves, and by all means, I wouldn't tell a woman to follow you if it's if for no reason, because
Hi,
you're a
Christy.
fool.
Hi, Christy
But if a
C.
woman out here knows that she got the type of man that she can follow,
That's right.
to the point that she would agree to be forever married and bonded to him,
Mm-hmm.
how does she then decide when and where she's going to follow?
Right.
And if what she does and if what she wants to do doesn't work out, does she expect him to fix it?
Right. Peace, Michelle and Michael. Hey, y'all. Haven't
What
seen
up?
y'all in a while. Goldfina said these days people want to be married but independent, which makes no sense, especially people his age.
It's an oxymoron. I know you use the word
Saloa
independence.
says, right.
You
Yeah,
just
I
use the
did.
word independence, and I know overall what you're trying to say, but
Right.
there's no married man or woman that's out here that can claim independence, because that goes completely against the definition of independence.
Saloa says this has been the hardest decision she's ever made. I can relate to that, sis. She said, but it has been the best one all the way around. True indeed.
See,
True indeed.
I can completely agree, because the hardest decision I've ever made was to fly straight. As a man coming from where we come from, that's used to seeing people take certain chances and hit and lose, the fact or the act of gambling, the urge to try, the urge to see if I can get away with it, it's it's so heavily in my bloodstream that the hardest thing that is for me to do is to go from state to state, dropping these loads off, and not deviate to do something that I want to do. For me, that's a difficult thing for me to do. And
But
a lot of people can't do it because a lot of people get out here on this road and
mhm.
they have no self-control.
But that's why, I don't know about other people, but I believe that opposites attract. You are very much the what I always call you. You are the one that's going to go against the grain
Oh
in
man, I
every
love
sense
it.
of the word.
I love it.
And I do go against the grain, but in a different way. But when it comes to relationship like this, I'm very like I'm looking to be led. I there's a certain level of tiredness I got to have to always be the one.
It's
As
not
I've always had to be the
it's
one.
not in your nature to be
And
the one. That's not
I
what
was
that's not your
happy to be
duty.
married, to have you lead and do that. Like, otherwise, why are you my husband? Like, why are
Facts.
you even my husband if I have to make all those decisions? Overall, you make the head decision, and I bring my qualities, my experience, my all of the things that I have inside of me to make this unit whole and better overall. Salvador, not Salvador, so Lord says again, they need to see the sacrifice and reward, because these kids think you get rewarded without sacrifice. Girl, you about to take us
Yeah.
into a
See,
whole
it
nother
ain't none of
video.
that. Yeah, it ain't none of that. That's why we
But
do what we do and put it on display that we put it on. We put more on display with our children than we do the general public. So it's a lot of stuff that we deal with on the road. There's a lot of nuances and particular things involved in our trucking career that we don't put out on the road,
Janet
that
Jackson
we don't put on
says,
display.
speak it.
Miss
It's a
Jackson, if you're
uh-huh.
nasty.
Speak it. It's a blessing to have someone in your corner. Being single and having the world on your shoulders constantly can be tiring. Of course, of course. And that's why we
Like
do talk.
the great Kevin Samuels would say, weight is made for shoulders, not hips. You shouldn't be
Hey,
out
take
here
it back.
carrying the weight of nothing because your strong suit is not your shoulders, it's your hips.
And
Men have the shoulder.
mhm.
We are made to carry the weight. So it's all about doing your duty, man.
And salute to the women who have to. I've been there, understand it, and much respect. But over here, talking about teams, we're just saying that be the team. Be the team. You know what I'm saying?
Play your
They
role.
always say that two eyes are better than one, of course, or whatever the
Two
case may be.
heads.
Two heads. Yeah. Two heads. I knew you would correct me. Gold Phoenix says, and that is why y'all flourish, because instead of competing with each other, y'all stay in your own lane and support one another. Exactly.
Facts.
I don't want to do what he do. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. I enjoy the fact that he appreciates my feminine side, and the fact that there are things that I don't want to do, and he knows I don't want to do them. He don't want me to do them because there's a softness that he wants to keep here. Keep here. I will do it. He
Right.
know I will, but there are certain things that is not required in our team unit.
And by
Now
all
that can be
means,
different in everybody's
I'm about to say,
situation.
yeah,
Do whatever is best for
by
you,
all
works for
means,
you.
this is not a comparison.
No, no,
This
no,
is not
no,
a
no.
put yours up against mine and see who's is because it's not a better. It's what works for you and what works for us.
Right.
Just know that what we do is working for us.
It is. And
Big time.
I wanted us to share this video because it's so much more than just trucking, but trucking is what we do. So that's why we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, redirection just means whatever. Like in your life, if it's not yielding you fruit, you need to redirect.
Facts.
Like, I just had a conversation with one of our daughters a little while ago, and I was just sharing with her, like, you have to look at your life and see how much percent of what you're doing in your life is really yielding you benefits. Like, what when you look at how much energy you put into doing this particular thing, is it thrusting you forward? Is it helping you achieve your goals? Is it helping you meet your quotas or whatever it is? It helping you be who you want to be. If it's not, it is time to redirect.
You need to cut it.
Right, because you're doing something that's not benefiting you. It's not yielding you anything.
Facts. But a lot of people will bump your head
Right.
over and over and over again and still look around like,
Right.
but I don't understand what happened.
Right.
Like, you know exactly what
You
happened.
know
You're
exactly
doing
what
what you
happened.
want to do, the way you want to do it.
Right.
It's just not benefiting you nothing at all. But you're so dumb, you don't even recognize it. You can't even see that what you're doing is such a waste of time.
Yeah.
But you're doing exactly what you want to do. So for you, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only because there's nobody waiting on you. You're not responsible for
Right. You're not
nobody.
responsible for
You're
other
doing
people.
whatever you want to do, pass or fail, and nobody's affected from it but you. So you think. Because there are people that are waiting for you to walk in your purpose. There's people
Yes.
that's sitting around, they just want to be proud of you,
Mm-hmm.
and you giving them nothing but the same ignorance over and over again, and literally are walking around dumbfounded like you don't understand why you in the position that you in. And
Mm-hmm.
other grown-ups, because there's a lot of people out here that really lean towards uh the 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 pat on the back or the response of young people. It's one thing to get the big ups and props from young people. I get it. We have to be influence and all of that. But if all of your props is coming from young people and people that don't have the experiences and same challenges, that's only because you can't get no props from grown folks. When all you got is young people in your corner and the grown folks that's around you that see you, they sitting around looking at you like you a fool. Nobody's riding with you. They ain't applauding that. You ain't getting props for ignorance. Only young people gonna
Mm-mm.
give you that because they don't know no better.
Mm-mm.
So grow up. Stop trying to be young people, because they are people that they're young because they don't have the experiences. You are too old to be walking around like you don't know nothing. But then you still want adults to give you a pass. You don't get no pass from grown. Man, I'm almost 50 years old. I know I don't look it, but I turned 47 in a month from now, man. And in 3 years from now, if I'm still alive, I'm gonna be 50 years old.
Yeah, Gold Phoenix said it's different when an OG acknowledges you. That's
Facts.
facts. That's facts.
I don't care about no
Um,
young person giving me no salute. Cause you little whippersnapper, get out of my face. I ain't trying to impress you, bro.
yeah, and you know what? That's another thing that I ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time
Recognize
on
when it's
it.
time to deviate and redirect
Right.
your thoughts, because
I,
that's what it's all about. It ain't even about what you do in the physical
right.
form. But if you still, bro, what you want to be, a rapper?
See, I ain't going Salvador say, oh goodness, if I were young again, no thank you. I like my 30s, my 40s will be great and just keep getting better. That's right.
Facts.
Um I think that that's another topic too that we'll talk about on another occasion, but I feel like there's way more props in a sense that he gets from being out here being a trucker than I do as a trucker's wife. It's just not looked at as the girl, yes, like congratulations, you a trucker.
But that's why.
Congratulations for being a team trucker. Like, I don't get that.
That's why,
I don't
as
get
the
that. It's
husband,
always looked at as like I settled.
well, that's why,
That's what it looks like. It
as the
looks like I
husband, I need.
settled.
That's why, well, my recognition comes in at, and my voice is louder than anybody else's.
Congratulations, Miss
I give my wife the
Danny,
props
Danny,
that's
on getting
necessary
your
for being
CDL.
out here. I make sure I strive my best to give her the life, because whether you know it or not, my whole objective, and we don't do no cursing on this joint, but my whole objective is for my wife to SHIT over any woman that she knows. Any woman from her past that's ever questioned and looked down upon her. Any woman that's ever, you got 4 children and you divorced and all, like any woman that's ever thought that they were greater or had an upper hand or just thought that she could never amount to nothing or would never have no, they wouldn't have a positive life. My whole objective, like no lie,
Well, it's still people
it's
digging
for
through
it's
trying to
for it's
find
for,
something.
it's my objective is for you to pull up at the red light next to whomever, and they look over and you in their Rolls Royce and you wave and we be out. Like my whole objective, because to me, it's just something that burns within me, and I know as a husband, I am the what my family is or isn't is a reflection of me, not you.
Facts. All
If
facts.
you ride past that
Definitely.
house and their yard ain't cut, I don't care what woman's inside that home or what children is inside that home. If there's a man in there, that house is a reflection of him. If those children look in a certain way, that's a reflection of him. It ain't the woman. If a man is in there, you are the end all be all when it comes to whatever that is. I don't care what it is. So for me, the best props I can get is when somebody see my wife, my family, and say, wow, they look great or they're doing great. That's a direct benefit and direct uh, shout out to me in what it is that I'm doing. Because that's my whole goal. We all know the granddaddies back in the day, granddaddy gonna die putting that bread up. Granddaddy
Mm-hmm.
gonna die
Mm-hmm.
putting his family in position. That's my whole goal, my whole duty. Now it may be old fashioned, it may be whatever. I'm doing it because I feel like my dad does it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I get it from. If it's wrong, then it's just gonna be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care nothing about liking the job, enjoying this, or none of that. Our whole objective is to get out here
Well,
and
I
get
think
this
that's how a
bread.
man is
And
built.
nothing else is I don't care about nothing
I think
else.
that's how the man
I
is
did it
built,
in the
though.
beginning. I came out here and I wanted to be and make friends and make partnerships and all of that because I wanted people to understand my way of life. Most people back home don't understand the way of life that comes with being a trucker.
Right.
So I befriended and locked in with individuals and all of that. But here I am 6 years later in the game. I don't care about none of that. This is the only thing that makes any sense to me. When I'm riding, and any real man should be able to understand what I'm saying. When you walk in your home after getting off work 2, 3 in the morning, or whatever that is, and you can walk past your children's bedrooms and open the door and look in there, and you see your little one sound asleep. As a man, bro, that's you stand there like the king of the jungle, bro. You want to bet your chest if you wouldn't wake the whole house up. When you can see your woman in the bed, she's sound asleep, and your house is at a calm at the end of the day, and all that kind of stuff. For a man, that's the ultimate trophy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing greater than that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what your homies do or none of that. The greatest thing is being able to come in and see your loved ones sound asleep with not a care or worry in the world. You may have the world on your shoulders. You may have the weight of the world all on your shoulders, but to know that your woman and your children are at peace, there's nothing more greater for a man than that. When I'm riding down the highway and I can peek back there for that split second just to know my wife is back there asleep, even the dog's back there asleep.
That's what I was
I
going to
feel
ask
great,
you.
bro.
How did it make you feel when I did decide that I was going to become a trucker and get on the road with you?
Initially, I knew it was going to be it was just going to add a challenge to my day. I knew it was just something else that I was going to, not something, but I would have to it would add responsibility to my day. But I was open for the challenge because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't backing down or never have backed down from anything. I just learned what needs to be responded to and what things don't need to be responded to. I'm scared of nothing.
And ironically, and even with you saying that, I don't know if you understand that it's the same thing for wives. It's the
Facts it
same
is.
thing for wives because we're on this truck trying to figure out how to make this home when we're out on the road, how to make this a safe space, a comfortable space, how to still meet the needs of our husband and maintain our marriage, maintain ourselves. Um,
Making the abnormal normal.
right. How to
Yeah.
adjust, like we're still having to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's a conversation that we're gonna have at some point because we really do need to tap into like husbands and wives coming out here and trucking.
Yeah. And I
Because
know
really, that's overall what we really push. Not we not out here like everybody become a trucker. That's not
no.
what it is for us. But it's like so many people immediately do the reject. Like we have had people like in conversation just passing by. We might be talking to somebody about being a team trucker or being over the road, and the first thing, you can have that. Remember the other day we was just having a general conversation with somebody and talking about how we drive over the road. And it was like, you can have that. And I'm like, Red Day, like you just immediately did the no.
People don't understand. That's all. It's just a way of life, man. It's a whole different thing. It's so abnormal that the normal thinking person can't fathom traveling. Like this is almost like we're like stars. And I don't mean like stars like, oh my God, superstars. But when you know people that's entertainment, whether they're athletes, performers, rappers, singers, like we're on tour. You know what I mean? Like you're not staying in the same place from day to day. Everywhere you go, you don't know nobody. Like the normalcy that people have living in a certain city, town, state, whatever the case may be, and the routineness of that, there's a safe space within that. There's a comfortableness within that we don't get out here on the road. And anything outside of this truck is abnormal. From when we open this door up and let the dog out, we're in a different place every time.
We are.
So Chip never can get used to any particular place because every time the door seals open, the view and location is something different. So it's abnormal as abnormal can get.
Michelle and Michael said about their life truck and said, yes, we are. Says making this truck home can be a challenge. Let me come over here. Can be a challenge yet fun. We're up for the challenge. And RC Styles once said, long time subscriber, never really comment, but love watching you guys, and I really needed this. I'm glad that we
Appreciate
could
it,
help
bro.
in some sort of way.
And I say this so many times. I'm like the worst YouTuber on the planet
Salvador
Earth, bro.
said, in the passenger seat and the driver's seat, two total different visual and physical experiences. And when you get to experience both, you understand each other more.
Yeah. Facts.
Marcus Winston says, seems like you have to be both friends and lovers to make it as a team truckers.
You have to.
As husband and wife team truckers, because there are team truckers out here that's not.
Right.
We couldn't do that. I can't be in the truck with somebody. I couldn't share this space like this with somebody else. Janet Jackson says, when going OTR, do you get to pick your routes? I like the Southeast and the Southwest. I can say that it really just depends on what company you're with. Most of the time, if you're starting off company, you're not going to be able to pick where you're going.
Even that. And when you look at the whole.
So if you're not company and you're leasing or you're coming out here and you're a owner operator, then you have more leverage.
And most of the time, the whole acronym of OTR, meaning over the road, that's normally coincides with traveling the whole country. If you're pretty much in one specific region and things of that nature, then that would be more so like a regional thing. But there are companies out here with it. You just got to search and find companies that offer, or their strong suit is something that you want to do. There's some companies that are not interested in having a customer base all over the country. They stick to one isolated area. So you want to see if you can find companies that's what they do.
And I think that, it's so many trucking companies out here nowadays that, you can really take your time and look and find something that best suits you. Some people coming out here have different needs that need to be met.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your individual circumstances. One of the things that we enjoyed about going with Swift when we first started was the fact that one person, their tuition was going to be free if you teamed. So that was an immediate yes for us.
Not to mention, we had a terminal within our own city. So coming home, one was
and
not an
he
issue.
Could train me after a training course. He was able to train me, so I didn't have to go with someone else.
Upon home time, we could park the truck at the yard because it was right there within our city. So that was a benefit for us. That's why we stayed at Swift as long as we did, not because we were making some super crazy bread, but our expenses was very low, and there were benefits to having a physical terminal in our city that made coming home that much easier for us whenever we wanted to. Like right now, we gotta either drop our trailer somewhere before we come home, or have sufficient space to park our truck and trailer at. So
And Swift had a lot of terminals everywhere.
Yeah, Swift
And
was
we
great
enjoyed that. Like
for
when we
us.
was at Swift, we got to see a lot of our friends and family because of how many terminals they had.
And real quick, it just hit my head. Shout out to my boy. Just got his license. He and his wife. He went through a little bumpy road when it came to getting his license, but uh, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, he just passed his driving test for his license. So he and his wife got their licenses now.
So proud of them.
My homeboy that's
Proud of
out there in
y'all.
Cali just finally finished his learner's portion of it. So he got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out where he's going to go to school at, but he's decided to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my homie, my bro and sis that's out here running the road now. They're doing pretty much what we're doing, and they're benefiting from that big time. Actually,
And this couple
two
that we
couples
were talking
that's out here
about,
right now that we helped. I ain't even said we put on because that's the wrong word, but we helped usher in to running where we're running and the way we're running it. And I'm just so
and
glad
they
it's working
doing
out for them.
amazing.
I'm just super glad it's working out for them because that's, you know what I mean?
It don't always happen that way.
No, but just you feel like you're doing your duty when you can
Yes.
help put people in position. You know what I mean?
To win.
Yes, it's a
Win
beautiful
big
thing,
too.
man. So
Yes.
it just feels great to help, like I said,
And to
lead
see
people
it, to watch
into
their journey.
putting themselves in position. Putting
Yes.
themselves in position. We didn't do nothing direct. All we
Nah.
did was pointed them
Pointed
in a
them in a
certain direction,
direction and
and
they
they
took
walked
it.
through those doors.
Redirection.
Mm,
The power of redirection.
that's all
Okay.
we did.
Um,
That's
so
all
the
we
first
did.
couple he was referring to, our family friends from VA. I just wanted to say that the wife, um, she was actually in the nursing field, doing good.
Mm-hmm.
The husband was doing good where he was
He
at.
was at his job 15
And
years.
we put some numbers out there. We put some experiences out there. We told them some things, and they decided to make this leap. So there are lots of people walking away from lucrative careers. They gave their home up. They still had a vehicle, but they got rid of all of they followed our advice to the T pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they have minimum expenses, and they're out here about to get it. You hear me? They about to get to it. So shout out to them.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yes, another nerve's going up. Not alone. No, you're not alone. You're not alone.
What time
you
you got
alone.
on the clock right there?
It's 2:32.
Okay.
Yeah, but he fusses at me because I come up with ideas, y'all, to get on here and do videos, and I don't do them. We don't do them.
Well, we both don't do them. I
But
gotta
I
be
do
one of the
want to
worst
share
YouTubers
more.
on YouTube.
I want to share more about things to consider when you come out here before becoming a team trucker. I feel like that is something that we really want to hone in on because people come to us all the time asking about how. So this is a way for us to give back and say, okay, if you look at this, if you look at these videos, we can share these videos and let y'all know like certain things you want to think about or consider before coming out here. So look for that. Okay. And if y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe, hit the like button, tell other people about Married to the Miles. Shout out to anybody that we didn't say your name. I see somebody new in here, Rick Dobb TV. Peace.
What up, Rick? What they call the replay gang.
Yeah.
If y'all catching this on the replay, man, y'all
Janet
know what it
Jackson, I pray that everything works out for you. Keep us updated on your progress as a new CDL holder.
Yes.
And everybody else that came over here, we just wanted to chop it up with y'all for a while. And y'all keep praying for us that we show up a little more.
And shout out to my cousin too. My cousin AJ out here getting it in, man.
Oh yeah.
He out here running young. He 21 years old, man. Out here over the road, bro.
What's up, Joe Wilson?
Salute to you, dog. You already know what it is, man. Already.
We love you back, Michelle and Michael.
Yeah, man. But we got some money to go get. We got a load that pick up in about
Thanks,
2
Salvador.
hours. We got about probably less than 100 miles to go get it. So we still all good with it. But we're about to get it, get the truck in order and get ready to get running.
Yeah, and do us a favor. If y'all have a topic or something like that y'all think is worthy of us kind of talking or building on, put it in the comments. We'll check it out later.
Yeah, big facts,
and,
man. But
again, we come up with some other stuff.
I know
love you back, Janet.
We're probably the worst YouTubers on YouTube, bro. We definitely try to do better. But you know, we don't really have a lot of time a lot of the times to really do significant stuff. So definitely, if you just want to catch us and keep up with what we're doing on a pretty consistent basis, Instagram will be your friend.
Peace 40 Shades.
Facebook will be your friend. So Married to the Miles on either one of those. You catch me Mo80FOE on Instagram.
Thanks, Antonio
What's your
Trent.
gram? What's your gram, babe?
Oh, the underscore real underscore Connie underscore.
Yeah,
The
she
real Connie.
underscored
A
out.
whole bunch of underscores.
Yeah, but if you find Married to the Miles on any of those platforms, man, that's
Peace, Gold
us, bro.
Phoenix.
But yeah, man, we're gonna try to do better. We say this all the time, you know. But this ain't about no YouTube check for us. This ain't about no YouTube celebrity.
Lord, if we
This
was
ain't
living
about
off a YouTube check, we'd be
dead.
broke.
This ain't about none of that for us, man. We ain't trying to be YouTube famous, none of that,
Nah.
because we know it don't pay the bills. You know what I mean? We out here trying to get to the bread for real. So we'll save all of that for everybody else. But yeah, we'll fall through as much as we can, man. We appreciate everybody who's keeping us accountable, because we have people
Yes,
that send us
you.
messages all the time,
Thank
like, bro,
you.
where y'all at?
Mhm.
So, you know, the accountability is we're there. We just gotta
Yep.
stick to it and stay on it. But yeah, y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Mo804.
And your girl, the real Connie.
Now, whether husband or wife,
Or besties for life,
or you just like what you like,
as long as you're doing it as a team,
you'll be all right.
you be all right.
This is Married to the Miles, man. Y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we getting back to the bag, man. Hope you get into yours. We gone, man.
Peace.
Peace.